In this video, we're going to be using the Goodfellas Smile Royal Lime and the Maxwell June razor. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB, and thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. We have a good one for you today. Before we get into it though, I want to remind you that this video is brought to you in part by our sponsor Leaf, and I'll pop up the leaf and twig right there. If you'd like 5% off your order, use discount code IAMCDB right there and save 5% at Leaf. Okay, we have a very interesting shave for you today because we're using a very interesting razor. This is the Maxwell June razor, which uses twin DE blades, and the loading is really interesting on this razor. It uses this device to load it, and I'm going to go ahead and roll in a video of me loading this so you can see how it is. It's very interesting. Take a look. And alright folks, we're going to attempt to show you how to load the Maxwell June razor. I have it on a Lancaster towel here. I don't recommend that you do that. I'm only doing it because there would be a glare on the counter. I recommend you use a hard surface. Anyway, we have this part of the razor right here, and then this piece. And this piece goes in the razor. It slides in the middle. If I can get it in there. It's always harder when you're looking in the viewfinder of a camera. And there it is. And then we'll bring out our loading mechanism right here. We'll take off the top, and then there's another piece right here. And then you're going to set the razor down in this tray, like so. And then we're going to take this piece and just make sure everything is good to go there. We're locking everything in. Now we're ready to go. And it's also put that piece I just put in the middle right there. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to bring in our Astra blade. And we'll set it in the tray right there like so. And then we're going to bring this piece in, like so, and you're going to press down firmly, like so. Remove it. A little difficult to remove sometimes. And you pull it out, and as you can see there, we've got two half DE blades nicely loaded. It's a very interesting loading mechanism. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, to tell you the truth, but that's how the blades go in. And alright, as you can see there, very interesting loading mechanism. I've never seen anything like it, and it was rather satisfying, to tell you the truth. Each time I did it, I was thinking, this doesn't look like it should work, but it worked. And you end up with two blades in the razor like this. It's got a very long handle. This one I think is 4.5 inches, and this was won in a contest by Kim Gray, and then she sent it to Marianne, and then she wanted it sent to me, and then I'm going to send it to the inspector. So thank you, Kim Gray. Anyway, she got the long handle because she's going to use this to shave her legs. It makes sense. I think they also have a 3.8 inch handle. Now Maxwell June, I would say 3.5 at the max on the shorter handle, or even less. 3.25 would be great. Really long handle. This is made of aluminum. It's really interesting. And again, you use two, or actually one DE blade that's split in half. Really interesting. We look forward to using it today. Also, we're going to be using the Goodfellas Smile Royal Lime. Now, this one was a little low in scent, so what I did was, if I can find it, let me find it here. I added a little bit of essential oil of lime aftershave to my lather mix just to give it a little pop. This is the inexpensive soap, Goodfellas Smile. It comes to you for, I bought it at Pastor's for $12.99 for 3.4 ounces, but I saw in the Razor Company you can get it for $11.95. The price at Pastor's was $3.82 an ounce, which is a good price on our cost chart. And this has a really nice scent, but it was a little bit light. Lemon, lime, neroli. Let's put the notes for you right there. If you like citrus scents, this is a nice one, I do believe. And I believe this is a vegetal base. We'll put the ingredients for you right there. All right, so we're really looking forward to this one today. And I did get a good lather, by the way, from the Goodfellas Smile soap. I'll put a shot of the lather for you right there. And as you can see there, no problem with the lather. Today we're going to be using our That Darn Rob, or one of our That Darn Rob brushes. And I miss the days of That Darn Rob, because, you know, you could say, I would have gotten away with it if not for That Darn Rob. And now it's Chisel and Hound. It's like, I would have gotten away with it if not for Chisel and Hound. It doesn't work. I prefer That Darn Rob. But anyway, what are you going to do? I love the name That Darn Rob. Everybody did. I don't know why he changed it, but he did. Alas, we're stuck with Chisel and Hound now, but he still makes great brushes. Anyway, we're wetting the face here just with a mister, and we shall apply this lather and get this shave on with the Maxwell June razor. I don't know if you can see the sheen on this lather, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not as good as maybe some of the other ones that I lather. I mean, in terms of coming easily, I had to really work to get the sheen on it, but it's going to be plenty slick enough. And I do have a bump on my neck right there. I don't know if you can see that spot. We'll try not to open that up, but I won't make any promises because you know me. I tend to scalp those bumps. But this smells nice, and the adding a little bit of the splash gave it the scent a little pop because it was just a little mellow for my taste. And so I just gave it a little bit of pop. And it's not affecting the lather. And I saw Doug Bear do that first, who's a great guy. And so from time to time when the scent is light, I'll just, if I have a splash that matches, I'll just pop a little splash in there and liven it up a bit. And it has done that, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. And that is good enough. We won't spend all day. Already got lather halfway down the brush. I'll rinse that off real quick. All right, let's wipe our hands off. Cut that back just a little bit and get ready to take our first few strokes with the Maxwell June razor. Let's see what it feels like. Very lightweight, as you would expect. It's got an unusual feel to it in that you can feel the blades, but you don't feel a lot of blades. I would say that this razor feels closer to a cart the way it feels on your face. And it's probably because it has a couple of blades in it. Actually, it feels pretty nice, to be honest with you. I'm not minding that. The first couple of strokes were a little bit odd, but now, you know, getting used to it actually feels pretty good. Feels nice and smooth. It definitely has a very mild blade feel. You can feel the blades cutting, but you don't really feel them on your skin as much. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it is what it is, and I don't know if you can see. See, it's definitely cutting. I don't know if it kind of grows probably, if you can see anything at all, but there's definitely some hair in there. Very interesting. Very interesting feel. Oh, I just scalped that bump, guaranteed. I could feel it. I cut that bump right off. I told you we would, and I did. But that's all right. We won't count that as a nick, cut, creeper, weeper, because bumps don't count, folks. Bumps don't count. I usually can predict when I'm going to scalp a bump. I know when it's there, and I know when I'm going to cut it. But anyway, the razor feels really unusual. You feel some blade, but not a lot of blade, but it's cutting. It is cutting. And the angle sort of sets itself. It's weird. This is one of those razors where I don't think you're going to get the wrong angle, because if you put it that way, it's not going to cut. If you put it too far up that way, it's not going to cut. It sort of only cuts at its working angle, or the angle at which it's intended to work. And that's it. That's very interesting. All right. Very interesting. Interesting first pass, I would say. I would say not bad at all. Let's see if we can get some of this here. You do have to get this angle. Basically, you have to get it at the right cutting angle. It's either going to be cutting or not based on what I'm feeling here. And for some people, they probably like that. Maybe some people not. I like the idea of these companies bringing these sort of crossover devices that will bring people who've never done traditional shaving to the hobby. Some people don't. I do. I think it's very helpful. I think new people will find us by virtue of these sort of razors, because this would be a good first step from somebody who's coming from cartridges and never used a DE razor. Sort of, lack of a better way of explaining it, training wheels, although still, it's got two very sharp blades in there. But I think the risk of cutting yourself with this razor would probably be less. Now, there is always one caveat to that. If you make a horizontal motion when the razor is oriented in its cutting style, you're going to cut yourself. If there's just no. But if you're doing, if you're going up and down, and the razor's oriented in its normal cutting fashion, I think it would be harder to cut yourself with this razor. Like I said, I like and welcome these sort of razors. Like Leaf does it. Henson to a lesser degree, and now Maxwell June. I like the idea of making a razor that's likely to bring some new people in. That's what we need all the time. You know, I speak about this from time to time, growth mindset. So don't just poo-poo everything you see like this. Think about long term. The more people who find us, the better off we all are. More innovation, more products. And I'm actually liking, surprisingly, I didn't know how I'd like the shave on this, but it feels pretty good. You're not going to feel a ton of blade. So if you're somebody who needs a ton, you're not going to feel a ton. But you feel enough that you feel it cutting. So that's kind of what I like. Sometimes I don't like razors because there's almost no blade feel and I can't feel them cutting. I can feel this cutting, so that's good. But at the same time, it seems like it's being fairly easy on my skin. And so I'm liking it. The only thing I don't like about it is the long handle. And of course you can get a shorter handle, but for me 3.8 inches is still a little long. It needs to be 3.5 or under. More 3.25 would probably be perfect. So Maxwell June, if you're listening, and I hope you are, maybe a shorter handle would be nice than the 3.8. That's still a little on the long side for me anyway. But I'm liking the way it's shaving so far. So, and again, Kim Gray won this razor, and she's yet to see it because it sat here while I was at my mother's for a while. Marion had it for a little bit. And then I'm going to send it to the inspector. And so, Kim, thank you. And don't forget, this coming Sunday, I believe it's the 26th, is we're going to paint it blue by using blue gear. And we'll probably have something special to talk about or show you during that time. Might be a giveaway coming. Might be partnering with the razor company for a giveaway. So stay tuned for that. First two passes were nice. I got to say, the razor's doing a good job. And again, I like the idea of a company making something that's going to bring some new blood in. That's what we need all the time. New people spending money and enjoying these wonderful products. It's fantastic. I wonder if that bump stopped bleeding yet. I don't know. I can't really tell. Doesn't really matter. We're getting a good shave, and that's the main thing. I would say the Goodfellas Smile soap here, to me, it seems very, very similar to RazoRock or the TFS soaps. And I think TFS makes soaps for RazoRock. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're making these soaps for the Goodfellas Smile. I think some of these formulas are showing their age a little bit now. That said, they're completely more than adequate for getting good shape. Because I got, this lather probably isn't as dense as what I normally get. It's more thin, but I still got hydration in it. But it's not quite as dense. Not quite as heavy, but it's still going to be plenty slick enough, which is what I'm looking for. And there is a sheen on it. I don't know how well it comes across in the camera, but it's there. So we did a good job lathering it, but it's not quite as thick and dense as some of the things I use. But it's still more than adequate. And it comes at a good price. And they have a lot of good scents. So, you know, it might be one to try, if you please. And let's get on with our final pass here with the Maxwell June. Very interesting razor. 2 DE blades, or actually 1 DE blade snapped in half. And it snaps it for you, as I showed before. And when I first saw this and I took it out of the box before I watched the video on how to... I watched their video on how to load it. You would have never figured it out unless you watched the video. Because it was like, what in the world is this? This is some crazy stuff here. And then when I did it a couple times because I was like, that's interesting. Let me do it again. That's interesting. You know, I did it a couple times because I can use those blades that are already snapped in the, like the leaf and the twig and so on. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the price. The price on this is $99 right now on the Maxwell June's website. You can buy the razor only for $89, but then you would need something to load it with. That device is $25. The loading device. So you'd be better off just buying, if you're going to buy one, buy the full kit, which includes the loading device and like a pack of blades and I think a tin for your blades, like a blade bank sort of thing, something like that. But anyway, it's pretty interesting, this razor, and I've enjoyed my first use with it. And I will, I might try to get a head shave in with this just to see what that's like. You know, I got fresh blades in here. I might try to do a head shave with it just to see how that goes. It's worth trying. It might be a great head shaver. I don't know. Probably do it the first time off cam just to do some experimenting and see how I like it. But it's a very interesting razor because of that. Whoop, camera. You know what I want. Do what I want. There you go. Sometimes the camera's like, I'm not going to do what you want. I need you to cooperate with me, please. Pretty nice. Again, I would characterize the overall level of efficiency of this razor as mild, or at least mild in feeling. I think it's doing a pretty good job of cutting, but it's going to feel mild. So if that's what you look for in a razor, then you're in luck. It's not going to feel super aggressive. But I'm thinking it's actually done a pretty good job with efficiency because I'm not feeling a lot of hair left behind. So I had a pretty good run with this, I would say. When I first looked at it, I thought, that is a really gimmicky, I don't know about this, but I kind of enjoyed it. All right, let me rinse and we'll come back, get into the post. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back, and off cam we did a warm water rinse, remove the soap, and then we used our PAA alum. There was no stinging except for that spot right there where I scalped the bump, but we didn't sustain any new nicks, cuts, creepers, weepers, bubbles, or troubles. So nice shave today. After the alum, we did a cool water rinse, and then we applied our Magic Made by Witches, Thayer's Witch Hazel after toweling off with our Lancaster towel. Really nice first run today with the Maxwell June razor. I would say it feels more like a cartridge razor than a traditional DE razor, but you get the benefit of using DE blades. It feels mild, but it was a pretty effective razor, and I enjoyed it. I'm going to use this on the head, and we'll see how that goes. If I like it on the head, it might be a razor that I would consider picking up. It's a nice autopilot razor. I think you could just relax and almost have your eyes closed using a razor like this. Very interesting design, Maxwell June razor, and thank you Kim Gray for allowing me to try it. What else did we use? Oh, we used the Goodfellas Smile, which I'll put right there, Royal Lime, and I added a little bit of RazoRock Essential Oil of Lime splash to it to bring that scent level up a little bit, and it was great. We used our That Darn Raw brush, and of course it's riding in our Lancaster RazorWorks brush soaking mug, Captain's Choice bowl, and we'll finish it out today with the Essential Oil of Lime. This particular lime aftershave has a lot of pop. It's very bright, and when I use it, it's like, woo, you know. Oh yeah. Whew. If you like lime, this is one you might want to consider because it has a lot of pop. I don't know that it hangs around that long, but when you put it on, it is such a bright lime. I love it. Let's go for another round. Yes. Oh man. We're going to have a great day today, and I hope you do too. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way, and as always, God bless.